Collin, 62 with a bogey. Impressive. How'd you play out there?
Great. I mean, ball was going where I wanted. Putts were dropping when I needed them. It was just, never got ahead of myself. And this game is stressful enough, and I think I make it even more stressful for whatever reason. But I was able to just really take it a shot at a time and just enjoy the round when I could.
Why did the ball go where you wanted it?
Honestly, the last 2 days have felt really good. I went into this year feeling really good about myself, and you go out and play 2 rounds at Sony, and you miss the cut, and you realize, man, do I need to redo everything that you thought you were doing for the last 2 months? And that's not really the case. The problem is results matter sometimes, and for me in this world, after the past year, 3 years, whatever you want to call it, I just haven't had the results I've wanted. But I know I'm making the right strides. I know I'm inching towards the right direction. I just haven't seen this momentum to be able to go out and play a low round. I mean, if you went back and was able to tap into my phone calls with Rick the past week and a half, a lot of it has had to do with being able to go low and just being able to continue momentum. And it's very hard to replicate. It's very hard to do. But at the same time, you've got to be able to play golf out here.
Best ball striking round in a while. I mean, I don't know how you grade it.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think I've had glimpses, and even yesterday, these greens are tough because any back pin, I mean, you might land it too short, which is exactly where you're trying to land it, spin back to 30 feet. So the last 2 days have felt kind of like my old self of just being able to control the golf ball. I'm seeing a lot more pin high shots, which is great for someone who relies on their ball striking. But it's nice to know essentially where your irons are going to start. For me, the start lines haven't been as good over the past handful of months.
Only 58 feet of putts made. What does that say about how close you were hitting it?
I was really hoping for more. I looked at the amount of feet I've made the last 2 days. Not much more. But it's nice when you're hitting it that close.
That's the point.
Yeah. I mean, aside from that, the putting the last 2 days, yesterday and today, felt a lot better. Out here, you just never know what bounce you're going to get. I mean, I got a lot of good bounces on the greens. It's funny to talk about that, but it's just what you have to do on Poe. And, with some rain and wind tomorrow, you're just going to have to just hit good putts and just kind of be accepting of where they go.
Collin, can you convey sort of the multiple personalities of a golf course? I mean, obviously Pebble's been scoreable the last couple of days, as you just showed. Tomorrow could be a lot different.
Yeah.
U.S. Open comes back here next year. It's obviously going to be.
Yeah, the rain earlier in the week kind of took a lot of the life and a lot of the nastiness out of this golf course a little bit. I had a very favorable tee time, I think, when I started today. Not a lot of wind starting on 1. I don't know what those guys later on had, but, it was very, very mundane out there to start the day. And granted, you have to start well. So it was nice to get off to a decent start and make some birdies and was able to just find a rhythm on that back nine to be able to close it out.
And you mentioned the results the last couple of years. I mean, how restless are you? You won a flurry of times there over a couple of years, and now haven't won in a couple of years. How eager and restless are you?
I mean, look, I'm very hard on myself. I think we all are, but I'm very, very hard. You ask anyone on my team, I can get down on myself pretty quickly because I know, there's just really fine margins out here, and I want to go back, not necessarily to the player I was, but just kind of use everything I've learned over the last 6-7 years and just put that into, the golfer I am today. And it's very hard to do. It really is, because if one thing's off, then it might lead you astray, and you might work on one thing. But I've been really focused on just trying to, build this momentum, this idea of momentum, and just making it myself. And it's, finally paid off today. And, we got some work tomorrow for sure.
One last provincial question. Does it feel, I mean, you obviously played college golf up here. You played around here a lot in college. Does it feel, is there a connection to Northern California golf? Do you feel different? I mean, you won at Harding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it feels like a second home. You get a lot of go-bears out there. You get a lot of people that are rooting me on, and being a California guy, it's always really special to play out here. And, I would have never even dreamt as a small teen or kid that you'd be shooting 62 at Pebble Beach. So it's pretty special.
Who talked you off the ledge when you were feeling down after Sony?
Yeah, I don't think anyone ever has had to talk me off the ledge. I was never going to go in the deep where I was like, man, I want to stop this, because there's always some answer that you can tell yourself. I've had a lot of conversations with Rick. More frustration, right? Of just I go out and even on Thursday, I think I had like 3 or 4 birdies. On a course where I felt like I hit it really, really good, and it's just going out. And he reminded me yesterday, when I first came out and turned pro, like I didn't care about honestly making cuts or top 20s. Like I came out to win, and when he told me that yesterday, there was that mindset switch going into today. I wanted to come out and win the weekend, win the tournament. Now we've given ourselves a chance, but it's a small mindset adjustment. And without him telling me that, who knows what I would have shot today. But I'm out here to win. Whether you finish 30th, 15th, 3rd, at the end of the day, like I want to win, and I've got to set that mindset at the beginning of the day, at the beginning of the week. And now, I think we've given ourselves at least a chance come tomorrow. Are you still unsettled on putter? Yeah. I think I might be for the rest of my career. It's a comfort thing for me. I think I play a lot with my feel and I play a lot with my gut. And unfortunately that changes a lot. But this putter I actually stole from Kurt Kitayama 2 weeks ago when we were at home. It's kind of settling nice to where it allows it to flow a little bit, but it doesn't have as much toe hang as the neck assumes, just because of the mallet look. So it's doing what I want. Hopefully we can just start them online tomorrow and see if they drop in the center of the cup.
Collin, when you were in a stretch of leaning on results for good feedback, what was a good week?
The end goal is to win, right? But like it wasn't like end all be all. Like man, life's over. It can be. When you're finishing 40th every week and you feel like you're putting your best golf out there and you can't figure out why, I'm more talking about those results. I think where there's a lot of positives to take. I think from a top 10 finish, no matter what week, no matter what tournament. I can take a lot of positives out of those weeks, and they're heartbreaking sometimes, but you live and you learn and you go on and you keep pushing. It's when you feel like I'm putting at my absolute everything, I'm missing the cut or I'm finishing 30th, and you're like, man, what's going on? Because like I know deep down inside me, like I'm a competitor. I feel like I can play against the top players in the world, even a guy like Scotty Scheffler when he's playing great. Like. I still believe that, and until the day I don't, then I'm just going to keep going head on. But it's a very, very fine line to say, okay, you're a couple shots away from a great week, or man, you really got to dig deep to figure it out.
Last one for me, dumb one probably, but when's the last time you played in the rain?
I think we played in the rain in Japan.
Okay.
A little bit.
Missed that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we played in the rain. I don't really remember.
Clearly.
I don't remember what happened yesterday, so that's
about tomorrow,
other
you
issues.
say obviously you demand a lot from yourself, but tomorrow when you tee off, the winds will go to 30 to 35 miles per hour. Given your personality, is it challenging to have a spirit of acceptance that the wind is going to push the ball around and maybe not have to replay it?
Yeah, it's a mindset. I remember in college we would play in the rain, and I get so scared of playing in the rain, like not embracing, not just being ready to tackle the day, and it's going to be a different mindset. I've changed that mindset, I think, ever since I've turned pro, but it's going to suck out there. It's going to be cold. We're going to be wet. It's not going to be comfortable. You got to live with it. You got to go out, and like I said, like I've put myself in a position, hopefully within a handful of shots, to just go out and be me.
Did you play here much? Get down to Pebble much when you were at Cal?
No, we had Stanford hosted their event at Cypress.
Right.
I mean, that's the nicest event you could ask for.
Right.
But USAM, we played here a couple other times throughout, but not a ton.
What's your relationship like with the course? I know you played as a pretty young guy in the Open in 19. Mm-hmm. I mean, your history here, nothing close to 62, or I'm guessing?
No. I mean, when we played the U.S. Open, I thought me shooting a couple under was phenomenal. Very, very very early stages of my professional career, like you said. So, and I think this is an iconic venue. I don't think anyone could take that away from it, no matter how it plays, no matter how gloomy and rainy or sunny it is. I mean, you stand there on 18 fairway and you look out, there's a lot of history right there.
Could you ever even imagine when you were here in the U.S. Open? Now, obviously, the conditions are different. It's June, I know, but it probably doesn't feel like, of course, anyone could ever shoot 62, right?
Yeah, I think soft greens change a
Right.
lot of that, and we've seen that over the last 2-3 years.
Right.
We've seen that this week already. When Mother Nature comes and it rains and it makes greens a lot softer, I mean, it just takes the teeth out of it, and unfortunately, that's just what's in front of us, and we have to deal with it.
Collin, what was your reaction to the changes to the 10th green?
Positive, very positive. Pat and I putted, and we both 3-putted there. I think it needs a little time to grow. You could still kind of see some mow patterns that are a little weird. I'm not blaming my 3-putt on that. Like, it's just Poe, and who knows if I hit a bad putt or a good putt, whatever. I think it allows that pin location to be there. I think the grass just needs to settle in a little bit. It's still looking a little rough.
Do you believe you can be a great putter?
I do. It's, even when I was, first coming out, like, I knew I wasn't the best, but I think I can still be a very solid putter, a consistent enough putter, to where, when it comes down the stretch, you can make those putts. And I've seen it in the past. I'm going to dig deep into those memory banks a lot tomorrow, and, we'll figure it out after. All right. Thanks.